Tadi adapter untuk komputer tu kan ada plug dengan USB kan. USB tu tak masuk rapat. Tu komputer tu tak dapat update. Tapi hello. Hello. PKK dia.
Okey ke? Boleh keluar sana?
Live.ukm.my.
Oh, okey.
Kalau dia orang nak tengok lah.
Belum on lagi kan?
Rasa dah ni. Dah on.
Dekat bilik majlis dia keluar.
Bilik majlis. Cuba masuk web dia. Live.ukm.my. Ada keluar. Saya tanya member dalam.
Hadirin diminta untuk kekal berdiri bagi menyanyikan lagu negaraku. Hadirin dipersilakan duduk. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Nur Ghani Makno, Pro Naib Chancellor Kejalaan dan Prasarana Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, yang mewakili Profesor Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Nur Azlan Ghazali, Naib Chancellor Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, yang amat berbahagia Tun Arifin Zakaria, Presiden Inns of Court Malaysia, yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Zinatul Ashkin Zainul, Dekan Fakulti Undang-Undang, tetamu-tetamu kehormat, pegawai-pegawai kanan ICM dan UKM, para pensyarah dan hadirat sekalian.
Selamat datang ke majlis menandatangani MOU antara Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia dan Inns of Court Malaysia. Bagi memberkati majlis pada hari ini, majlis dengan ini menjemput dan mempersilakan Dr. Muhammad Helmi Mat Said bagi memimpin bacaan doa. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. O Allah, on this glorious day, in conjunction with signing ceremony of Memorandum of Understanding between Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia and Inns of Court Malaysia, therefore, we uphold our hands to pray gratefully to thank on your infinite favor to us till we can live in peace and harmony to perform our task as your servants. O Allah, we ask your blessing to make this occasion in success. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide us to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'ana marhuma وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا ولا من يتبعنا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada Dr. Muhammad Helmi Mat Said di atas pimpinan bacaan doa sebentar tadi. Hadirin dan hadirat sekalian, bagi meneruskan acara, mohon izin untuk kami kendalikan majlis ini dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Memorandum of Understanding between University Kebangsaan Malaysia and Inns of Court Malaysia represents the intention of both our institutions to create opportunities and joint collaborations to organize events, trainings, and programs for significant educational experiences and the development of legal skills. This mutual relationship shall undoubtedly improve and enhance the abilities of students as well as alumni, members of the ICM, and law academicians.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Professor Dr. Nur Gani Makno, Pro-Vice Chancellor of University Kebangsaan Malaysia, to deliver his speech. Please welcome.
Terima kasih saudara dan saudari pengacara majlis. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon. The Right Honourable Tun Arifin Zakaria, who I met for the first time today in person, who is the President of the Inns of Court Malaysia, ICM. Yang berbahagia rakan saya Profesor Dr. Zinatul Ashikin Zainul, Dean of the Faculty of Law, distinguished guests, senior officers of ICM and UKM, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today for the signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding between University Kebangsaan Malaysia (UKM) and the Inns of Court Malaysia (ICM). It is indeed a great honour for UKM, through our Faculty of Law, to collaborate with the Inns of Court Malaysia, which I was told comprise distinguished members who are previously or currently serving as judges, lawyers, jurists, legal academia, and other legal professionals. UKM's main vision is to become one of the world's recognized research university. And to that end, I believe that this joint collaboration will provide a platform for UKM to network with reputable and resourceful members of ICM. This joint effort by ICM and UKM law faculty will open up opportunities and avenues for a meaningful collaborations towards attaining professional legal excellence through events, training, and programs in the future. This joint effort is definitely in line with our aspiration in building excellent network with industry and fostering good relationship with the community, both locally and internationally. UKM's Faculty of Law is one of the leading law schools in the country that produces legal talents, partly through our continual engagement with various reputable organizations, universities, and institutions throughout the world. I believe our collaboration with ICM as our strategic partner means a lot, especially in strengthening the campus learning environment for professional practices and legal advocacy. Further, the collaboration will also provide an avenue to foster greater understanding and appreciation of the spirit of Malaysian law, drawing from the experiences of distinguished ICM members comprising judges and professional practitioners. I do believe that together we can foster a higher level of professionalism, ethics, integrity, legal skills, and civility aimed at improving the standards of the legal profession as a whole. I also believe that this collaboration is a step in instilling greater appreciation of lifelong learning among legal professionals. Finally, I'm confident that this MOU will greatly benefit both UKM and ICM. This strategic partnership will provide a synergy of efforts between UKM and ICM, not only to enhance the quality of legal professionals, but more importantly, together, I think we can move forward to face future challenges to our legal system against the backdrop of current national and global challenges. With that, I thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Nur Gani Makno, for the remarkable speech. We shall now continue this evening's event of the Inns of Court Malaysia. Yang Amat Berbahagia, Tun Arifin Zakaria to deliver his speech. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to all of you. Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Datuk Noor Ghani Muhammad, Honorable Judges, Retired Judges, Yang Arif Datuk Muhammad Naim Haji Mokhtar, Judge Musyawarah Court of Appeal, Dean of UKM Law Faculty Professor Dr. Zainatul Ashikin Zainal, Dean of UNIZA Law Faculty Professor Dr. Zuhair Arif binti Abdul Qadas, Member Usaha Tuan Jamhira Ali, Director of Legal Profession Qualifying Board, members of the Academia, members of the Malaysian Bar, Sabah Law Society, members of Royal Malaysian Police, ICM members, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure and honor to say a few words on this momentous occasion this afternoon. I stand before you as the President of Inns of Court Malaysia, or otherwise known as ICM. It is truly an honor for the Inns of Court to be invited to collaborate with University Kebangsaan UKM for the mutual benefit of the law students in the Academia of the UKM Law Faculty and for the members of ICM generally. Allow me to give you a brief insight on the history of the Inns of Court Malaysia. ICM was officially established on the 10th of November 2016, which is about 2 years. It is by constitution the Society of Judges, Lawyers, Juries, Legal Academia, Judicial and Legal Officers, Corporate Counsel, and other legal professionals from all levels and backgrounds with a united mission for the professional legal excellence. ICM's headline is a home for the whole spectrum of law professionals. ICM exists to support its members by creating opportunities for significant educational experiences, development of legal skills, and enhancements of members' abilities. ICM provides a professional platform for its members to learn from one another, share legal experiences, foster fellowship, goodwill and cooperation. Like the Inns of Court in the United Kingdom and the United States of America, ICM is the platform for talks, dining, sessions, educational activities, MOOCs, debates, seminars, lectures, and professional development. Meeting in a collegial setting with the goal of fostering excellence in professionalism, ethics, integrity, legal skills, civility, with the stated purpose to improve the standards of legal profession in our country. Over the years since incorporation, ICM has organized various educational, intellectual, professional, and social events for its members to upgrade their skills and to be better legal professionals. The flagship Legal Education Series has proven to be an impactful educational series conducted by judges and senior practitioners. The topics which we have covered are advocacy for trial and appellate courts. So far this year, we have held lectures on two lecture series. Both events were well attended. The Q&A between the speakers and the participants at the end of the lecture was both interesting and educational. This evening, we will be the third ICM's and final lecture for 2018. The speaker and moderator for this evening are both very experienced judges of the High Court. Please take this opportunity for students and young lawyers to learn and understand the expectations required of you by the bench if ever you appear before the courts. ICM remains at the forefront Well, in this context, I would like to say a few words on what I noticed when I was on the bench. When I was on the bench, on many occasions, I came across young lawyers appearing before us, and they were completely at a loss. When called upon to address, some of them raised their hands to get attention to the bench. This is a true event. It truly happened before us. So please remember the lawyers, young lawyers, the courtroom is not a classroom where you raise your hand asking permission to speak. If you need to say anything at all in court, please stand up and politely seek permission of the bench. You don't ever raise your hand in the open court. Those are little things that you may learn, pick up in the course of our training sessions and lecture series. ICM remains at the forefront in developing legal talent and spearheading legal education. And I also wish to reiterate the fact that ICM is not a substitute or alternative to the bar in the Malaysian bar. Malaysian bar is a statutory body which is which is with its functions to regulate the professional practice as such. But as far as ICM, it's not a statutory body. It is a society which is created by us, established by us, to help one another. And it's open to all, not necessarily the bar members, open to all the non-bar members of Malaysia as well. To all LLB degree holders, including the Sharia LLB as well. So it's a very broad spectrum compared to the bar. And by no means it is challenging, trying to challenge the bar activities or the bar's duties. Ours is more like a complement whatever is being done by the bar. ICM collaborates with universities, as we are doing this evening, this afternoon, higher educational institutions and professional associations, including the bar, to further strengthen industry linkages to develop a world-class profession in Malaysia. ICM further value add by collaborating with business partners to accord privileges exclusively to ICM members. The MOU have been inked with respective faculty of law, like International University, Islamic University, IIUM, so University Sultan Zainal Abidin, UNIZA, and College Damansara, KDU, for collaboration between industry and academia. Today we are inking our MOU with UKM. This is yet another important milestone for ICM as we are incrementally creating a vibrant legal ecosystem with the combined diverse expertise of all our members. For your information, the membership categories for ICM are as follows. Namely, the ordinary membership, associate membership, student membership, ordinary for Malaysian citizens, and associate for non-Malaysian citizens. Eligibility is for those who have obtained a recognized law degree. Who decide whether it's recognized law degree or not is for the committee. Our committee will decide upon application. Or its equivalent, subject to discussion of the executive committee. Students now can join as student members as long as they have commenced law education with eventual upgrade to full membership status upon graduation. Student membership fee is a mere 50 ringgit. I hope those who have not done so, who have not joined the ICM as a member, derive maximum benefit from your status as a member. We hope you participate in ICM's upcoming events. Lastly, I wish all of you, especially the UKM law students, the very best in your academic pursuits. And for those who are already in the practice, I wish you good luck and every success in your profession. Thank you for attendance and support. And I hope all of you have a fruitful and rewarding session this evening. Wabillahi taufiq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
privilege to invite Tun Arifin Zakaria and Professor Dr. Gani Makno to exchange the documents.
Next, we would like to invite Professor Dr. Nurgani Makno to present a token of appreciation to Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Arifin Zakaria on behalf of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Next, we would like to invite Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Arifin Zakaria to present a token of appreciation to Professor Dr. Nurgani Makno on behalf of Inns of Court Malaysia. Thank you Yang Berbahagia Tun Arifin Zakaria and Professor Dr. Nurgani Makno for the presence of token of appreciation.
Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony will be adjourned for 10 minutes before we proceed with our next agenda, a lecture by Yang Arif Datuk Wazir Al-Amaidin Mira entitled Criminal and Civil Democracy. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are Muslim, the surah is located on the left side, just outside this room, and we will proceed in 10 minutes with the lecture.
Ada lagi 3 daripada
Puan S. Nandawalan to conduct this session.
Good evening, everyone. I'm your moderator for this evening. I find that I have been the moderator for the last 4 series as well. So this is becoming a habit of mine now. I'm very honored to be your moderator at this evening's lecture series. We have an interesting lecture program for you, and we hope all of you, students and academics and legal practitioners, will benefit by participating in this event, particularly by posing questions. All questions will be posed to the speaker and not to the moderator. I thought I will do something differently today. I will come to your speaker very shortly, but before we get to that, I thought I will just show you a very short video clip of what can go wrong in court between judge and counsel. And what you are about to see, it is actually a fictional series. It's called Rampol of the Old Bailey. What happened here is that Mr. Rampol, he is actually a very cantankerous old barrister, and he has the misfortune of always appearing before very difficult judges, very difficult short-tempered judges. So they are both suited for each other. In this case, Mr. Tong is accused of manslaughter, where his wife died in the living room, apparently after a quarrel or something like that. He claims that she walked fast, tripped on the carpet, fell and hit her head on the coffee table, and then she sustained serious injuries and then she died. Mr. Tong is a man of God, apparently, so when you use the word God, for God's sake, he doesn't like it. The judge is getting very irritated because Mr. Tong is taking a long time to give his part of the story as to how the incident took place. You will now see how the judge somehow makes prejudicial comments, and you will see the exchange of words between judge and counsel. And you may ask yourself, what if I am in this situation and how will I deal with this if ever I were to face such a judge? I can assure you, you're unlikely to face such a judge in Malaysia, but who knows? So can we have the video now, please?
This is absolutely intolerable. We need to half the Old Testament. For God's sake, my Lord. All right, for all our sakes, when are we going to come to the facts of this manslaughter?
Mr. Tong, on the night that this accident occurred.
Accident? That's for the jury to decide. Why do you call it an accident?
Why did your lordship call it manslaughter? Surely that is something the jury have to decide.
Did I say that? Did I say that, Mr. Seaman?
Yes, you did. I thought for a moment you were joining the prosecution team. Or was that a single-handed effort to prejudice the jury?
Mr. Rumpole, that was a quite intolerable thing to say.
I thought that was a quite intolerable thing to do.
I may have had a momentary slip of the tongue.
Or your lordship's well-known common sense may have deserted him.
Mr. Rumpole, I think you should be warned. One of these days you may go too far. Now can we get on?
Certainly, my lord. I did not wish to interrupt the flow of your lordship's rebuke. Now then, Mr. Tong, on the night in question, did you...
Well, that's the end of the show. Now I come to your speaker. You're very fortunate. Your speaker this afternoon is a very eminent judge of the High Court, inshallah. He has served in Penang, Kuala Lumpur, Malacca, and then he's now inshallah. He's asked me not to read his qualifications, but he's a holder of the Bachelor of Laws from the University of Wales, Aberystwyth, Master of Comparative Laws from University Islam Antarabangsa, and Bachelor of Arts from the University of Singapore. He was an active litigation counsel for almost 20 years. He joined the judiciary in 2010. He has heard many criminal and civil cases, and he is eminently qualified to share his thoughts on the basics of advocacy for civil and criminal cases. This is a topic which is or should be at the heart and mind of every litigation lawyer. In the court of first instance, it is usually ground zero for both sides. If things go wrong in the trial, then you will most certainly have an appeal task in the appeal stage. So it is quite obvious you need to get it right the first time around in the court of first instance or the trial court. As such, this evening session will be a do's and don'ts session. So to get a glimpse of the right way of doing things for purposes of a trial, I now invite your speaker, Justice Dato' Fazil Alam Maidin, Judge of the High Court, Shah Alam, to share his thoughts on the topic of trial advocacy.
Thank you, Justice Balan, for your kind words and introduction. And thank you to University of Kebangsaan Malaysia and also to the Inter Courts Malaysia for inviting me to this, giving me this privilege of addressing this office gathering. Now, this is actually the second time I'm speaking on a similar topic. I see some familiar faces, so you've already heard me before on some of these things, so do bear with me. Now, where do I start? I think we should first of all try to understand what advocacy is all about. Now, if I were to explain it in a single sentence, I would say this. Advocacy is the art of skillful persuasion to bring others to agree with your point of view. That is what it's all about. Whether you are doing it in a courtroom setting, whether you are doing it in parliamentary debates, whether you are doing it as an NGO advocacy group, you are doing it in a way that you're using your art, the art of skillful persuasion to bring others to your point of view. Now, how is this done? Now, in a courtroom setting, it is usually done through effective communication. That is the basic thing. It is done through effective communication. That effective communication builds a relationship between the advocate and the decision maker, which assists the advocate in being the most persuasive. And it also helps to change prevailing perceptions that may already exist in the minds of the decision maker. And it also creates new perceptions in the minds of the decision maker, so that the decision maker is now with you to deliver a decision or a verdict that is what you are seeking for. Now, effective communication has many components. It is the whether it is Bahasa, whether it is English, it is the use of appropriate language. The use of appropriate body language is also important. clarity, brevity, simplicity, timing, pace, voice control, appropriate eye contact with your witness or with the judge, and also very importantly, ethics and decorum. So all this encompasses the elements of effective communication, and you will need to know about this, practice and gain some of these skills, and use them effectively. Now you'll see on the screen a picture of two persons. One on the left says it's 4, and the other says it's 3. Now at a glance, they look like they're both right. So these are the kind of things that the judges face, the judges' dilemma, right? So how do you then put your case across? The guy on the left says it's 4. He can jump up and down and say it's 4 and 4 and 4. The other guy on the left, the right can say it's 3, 3, 3. And the judge is going to sit there and say 3 plus 4 is 7. So this is where your advocacy skill comes in. The guy on the left needs the proper advocacy skills to put forth his case to say that it is 4. And the guy on the right says it is 3. So that is what, in a nutshell, what advocacy is all about. Now, there used to be this debate as to whether advocacy can be taught. In the United Kingdom, for many years, it was thought that advocacy cannot be taught. They followed the traditional system of pupil master, junior, senior. Go and follow them. You learn through the hard way by witnessing and by learning with the field. But other jurisdictions, like so it was sort of like quasi osmosis kind of learning. So what they say, water flows from the less dense to the more dense and whatnot. So it was like that. Now, other jurisdictions like Australia, the United States, they moved ahead. They formed advocacy training councils and centers because they thought that they were of the opinion that advocacy can be taught. We may not be innately brilliant in advocacy. Some chaps are innately brilliant in it. Just like you can become a pianist, you can be taught to become a pianist, but you may not become a brilliant concert pianist, but yet you can become a competent pianist who can perform well. So that is what it is all about. So United Kingdom was Johnny come lately, and we also then got onto the bandwagon and said that we can also teach advocacy, and we do that now. The courts together with the bar, we teach advocacy. And a very interesting story I must say there. When I was preparing the slides in the earlier talk, my teenage daughter was sitting next to me and she was watching me do this. And then she looked at the term quasi-osmosis learning. She asked, what is that? Wow, what is quasi-osmosis learning? So I said, well, it's like watching somebody and, she said, that's experiential learning. Then I said, that's a nice word. Then she said, there's another word she told me. This is called the Miyagi effect, she said. I said, Miyagi effect? I said, what is Miyagi effect? Then she asked me, have you seen the Karate Kid? I said, yes, I've seen Karate Kid. I said, have you seen the old man Miyagi teach the Karate Kid how to learn karate? I said, yeah, I remember that. So you remember he used to ask him to do this wax on and wax off and wax on and wax off. And the poor kid didn't know what he was doing. In the end, he knew what it was. And that is what it was in the old days. The poor people didn't know what he was getting. Just like when we started, we didn't know what we were getting into, what we learned. So, where do we begin? Yeah, we can begin from watching and learning senior practitioners. When I was a young advocate, when I finished my mentions in court, that's what we were mostly employed for in the old days. Now we went to mention cases. After finishing, I used to sit and watch seniors in practice, in action. Instead of running to the canteen and yakking with their colleagues, go and watch seniors in action. You can attend advocacy training, learn from online material. I went into YouTube and I Googled and I searched. There's so much of material. There's so much of material posted by the Australian trainers, by the English trainers, by the American trainers. There's so much material there. And of course, you can also invest in one or two good books on advocacy. Now, the one that you see on the screen is called The Devil's Advocate. It's my favorite. You know, it's my favorite. It didn't come out when I was in practice. I only bought it when I became a judge. It is written by this gentleman called Ian Morley QC, who has come to Malaysia and done advocacy training here with us. Very eminent QC. And it is very concise and easy reading. I got my copy from Kinokuniya. You can get it online. Right? Go get a copy. I don't get any commission for this. He has got very, very good short snippets of advice and how you go about it. Very, very nicely done. And I keep that copy in my chambers. Right? Mr. Wong is nodding his head because he was marshalling with me and he has seen the copy in my chambers. Now, why do I keep that in my chambers? Because I like to read it and remind myself what advocacy is all about. And once in a while, I use it to give advice to counsel. Right? There was once I was writing a case, listening to a case, and the counsel was re-examining the witness. Re-examination, as you know, it should be short and to the point and not too lengthy. But this re-examination was going on for a good 1 hour already. I kept giving him hints, he didn't get it. I tell him, counsel, this is re-examination, not examination in chief. He didn't get the hint. So finally, I called him into, called all of me into chambers, and I showed him this book. I said, have you looked at this book? And he said, no, I've not seen it. It's a very good book. It's very good advice. And I said, there's one chapter on re-examination. Open that. And the first line says, first line on re-examination, there shall be no re-examination. So, why? I will let you all know later when I come to the part of re-examination. So get hold of this book, and there's this Gurdial Singh's Gurdial Nij's book on trial advocacy, civil trial advocacy. It's a very good book, you know, very localized, and you can get them. There are also trial advocacies for criminal practitioners. Go get them, read them, learn them. Okay, now trial advocacy. Now I was asked to speak on both criminal and civil. What I'm going to do, touch on, is it will cover generally all areas, both the areas, and when it is specific, I will point it out to you. Okay, now trial advocacy encompasses all aspects of the proceedings. It starts from pre-trial action, if it is civil. Pre-trial, what you do when you're drafting your notice of demand. It starts from that, because that's where you're setting out your client's case. So it's very important. Likewise, in a criminal trial, criminal case, it starts from the drafting of the charge. To get the charge right, if you're a prosecutor. And then you also have to have, it also encompasses the commencement of the action, the actual filing of your pleadings, if it is civil. And then the actual laying of the charge, if it is criminal. And then once the matter is in court, you have the pre-trial procedures and protocols. And then you have the trial procedure. And then the post-trial procedure. Post-trial procedures are basically, appellate advocacy and things like that. So that is something that I won't be covering today. Now, many people think that advocacy means, you're able to talk well, and that's what advocacy is all about. No, it's not. Advocacy encompasses both written and oral advocacy. So the written advocacy is equal in importance to its oral content. Why is it important? Because legal writing includes pre-trial demands or notices before action, formal pleadings, opening statements, closing submissions, and they are all essential parts of the trial advocacy. Filing of affidavits is also part of trial advocacy. So, properly setting out your client's case in pleadings, whether you are acting for the plaintiff or defendant, is extremely important. You will be ring-fenced by the four corners of the pleadings. Practitioners would know, and students who are here, we are doing your civil procedure papers. Pleadings are very important. What you write there, what is contained there, is how your case is going to be defined. So you stand or fall by your pleadings. Framing the claim is very important. Right? Now, in doing that, you must be clear, concise, and complete. The golden rule is less is more. Keep to the bare essential facts, giving rise to the cause of action or establishing the defense. Avoid evidence. Avoid writing a thesis. Separate. Keep the bare essential. Keep to the bare essential facts, giving rise to the cause of action or establishing the defense, and then separate the wheat from the chaff. A good advocate knows how to distill large amounts of material into what is essential and being right about what is irrelevant. Right? So the thing to remember here is, do not throw in the kitchen sink. Right? Long pleadings can become the subject of your opponent's gleeful cross-examination. Remember that. Right? You give them material to cross-examine. You don't want to do that. So, to summarize that point, remember that you are there to help the judge. The whole point of you being the advocate is to make matters simple. Do not complicate issues. The simpler, the better. You are paid to explain to the judge what and where is the problem and why your client should do. Right? So when you put anything into writing, keep to the point and make it calm. Right? Some causes of action or defense require explicit pleadings. For example, limitation, fraud, special damages, fair command, qualified privilege, malice in defamation, etc. So be mindful of this. So you must know. So when you set out to do something, you must know what is required. And how would you know these things? How do you learn all this? Make use of precedents, books of precedents. This book of precedents is put together and is edited by a current federal court judge. It has got a lot of good contributors, eminent advocates and solicitors who have contributed a lot of time and effort in coming up with this. It's all there. So just invest a little bit on all this and you can be on a good footing already. So now, I'm going to move on to trial advocacy. Trial advocacy entails the skillful interlocking of facts and evidence to the law. You have facts, you have evidence, you interlock it, and then you present it to the judge. Now, before you start anything to put into the court, file anything into the court, now you must remember trials and pre-trial procedures that lead up to trials are governed by a whole lot of statutes and rules of court. So know them well. It is incumbent upon the advocate to identify the applicable statutes, rules of court, or other guidance that directs the court's decision-making power in a particular case. When I was in practice, whenever I used to go, when it was a criminal case, in my bag was the Evidence Act, the Criminal Procedure Code, the Penal Code, or if it was a drug offense, the Dangerous Drugs Act. Likewise, if it is a civil claim, whatever statutes and rules that govern it, you must carry it with you. With the rules of court, the judge is going to ask, yes, counsel, can you tell me which particular order that you are relying on to come to me on this? You must be able to assist the judge by opening the rule book and assisting the judge. You know, I had, when I was in Malacca, there was a very young and eager counsel. He was arguing a point in a matrimonial matter in chambers and telling me that this is possible, that this particular thing that is asking for an order of sorts is possible. And I was having my doubts. And he said, no, it is provided for in the rules, or the matrimonial rules, person rules. I said, well, which rule? I said, and he said, oh, then he was groping, and he said, oh, I didn't bring my rule book. Then I said, how are you going to assist me? And he says, Judge, can I borrow your rule book? So, if I had done that in my early days of practice 30 years ago, I would have been shown the window and the door. So be prepared, yeah? Right, so the issues that confront the trial lawyer in the course of any litigation process includes pre-trial preparation, case analysis, opening, closing statements, examination, cross-examination of witnesses, evidential issues, expert evidence if you need any experts in the court, technical questions, ethical issues, ethics, decorum, how you conduct yourself, how you carry on, so you do not mislead, and all that is very important. Now this is a very interesting quote that I have always been very close to the heart. So this is Sanzer's, from Sanzer's Art of War. It says, this is what it says: thus it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. Right? At first glance, you may have read it a couple of times, then you will understand. They say, how is it that a victorious strategy only goes to battle after the battle has been won? Very simple, very simple. What this means is that from a military standpoint, a victorious strategist examines his own strengths and weaknesses, as well as the strengths and weaknesses of his opponent, as well as the terrain, the weather, the morale, the food supplies, any other factors that may impact the outcome of the battle. And having done all that and having made all the calculations, and then he is certain that yes, with all this, victory will be certain for me, then he goes to battle. Whereas a person who is going to, who doesn't do all that, is destined to lose. Likewise, in a courtroom battle, you must strategize for victory. You must have a battle plan. You must know your facts, know the law, the direction that you're going to take, how you're going to go. Analyze the strength and weaknesses of your case and those of your opponent. Then having your battle plan ready and how you want to go into the battle, then your chances of success is that much more higher. So what it means is this, that planning and preparation is crucial for victory. Likewise, there is no substitute for preparation in a courtroom scenario. You have to prepare. You must choose an organizational construct and process the information that you have, prioritize the value of that information, and identify crucial legal and factual issues applicable to the case, how it affects the clarity and persuasiveness of your position throughout litigation, and how it would, whether it assists you or prevents you from identifying a potentially case dispositive issue. an issue that can dispose of the case in your favor. Okay, so this is what you need to do, and then to summarize, there are essentially 4 steps to your preparation. I talked about preparation, how preparation is very important. There are 4 steps to preparation. Knowledge of the case material, knowledge of current relevant law, evidence and procedure, analysis to develop a case theory, performance preparation, which would include your pre-trial case management, interrogatories, files. Right. I cannot emphasize more that you must know your case material. You must know your case material. Read the brief, digest the facts, every single bit of it, know it at your fingertips. So if the judge asks you, there's a mention of this particular letter dated 12th of January 1982. Can you show me, counsel, where is it? My lord, this is bundle B2 at page this. You must know it, right? Documents, statements, videos, audio recordings, reports, expert reports, photographs, you must know them. You must know them. I can share with you this. I was involved in the defense of a young soldier who was charged with the ISA. This was in 1980 something, 88 I think. He had gone in Chowkit, he had gone a while, and he was known as the Adam Rambo. I was involved in the defense, part of the defense team. And we were going through the whole thing. We were people, those days, criminal trial, we don't get much information. They'll give you the charge sheet, they'll give you the caution statement, they'll give you some photographs, and that's about it. And I looked at it, I was, and then what defense is there? He was charged in the ISA for possessing the rifle. He had taken the rifle out of the barracks to KL. He didn't have license, he didn't have permission to go to have it in Chowkit. It looks like an open and shut case. What do you do? So when I went to interview him in prison, he said, I cannot, I remember I was in Ipoh, in my camp in Ipoh, and I was under so much stress. I couldn't take all this ragging they were doing to me, all the seniors. And the next thing I knew, I was in KL. The next thing I knew, I heard the voice of my general, and then I went to my general. The general came from Ipoh to sort of mollify him and get him out. And there was, then we looked at it and said, look, this needed some psychiatric element. So we got in touch with one of the prominent psychiatrists, forensic psychiatrists in the country at the time. Spoke to him. Then I went with him to the prison. We interviewed him, we talked to him. And then, as it happened, then the psychiatrist said, there is possibly something here, right? He seems to be under so much of pressure and stress that his mind just went blank, and then he has done something during that period, and then he doesn't remember that, and then he came out of it. And there is a term in psychiatry for that. It is called a state of fugue. And he said that when they go into that state, it is actually an auto mechanism from the mind, because the mind is under so much pressure and stress that it shuts down. It wants to shut down because they feel so much pain. It shuts down. And then one of the things they go into when they do that is to kill or to be killed. They go into a suicidal state. To kill or to be killed. And when the psychiatrist was explaining that to me, it suddenly dawned on me. I said, I may have seen something in the photographs that was given. Why I had gone through all the photographs that the police had supplied. and one of the photographs was of the room where he stayed in the Chowkit Hotel. You know, he was staying in a hotel on top of the shop house, one of the shop house hotels. He was staying in the hotel, and there was this dressing table with a mirror on the dressing table. And on the dressing table, he has written these words. He's written these words in red pen, you know, red ink pen, marker pen, or pen. He's written these words. Malam kecelakaan bagi Adam. Tujuan bunuh atau membunuh. And that was useful for our defense. Something that the police, the prosecutors provided to us became useful for our defense, and finally we managed to prove insanity and he didn't get to be hung. But the important point I'm trying to make is that you must know and go through all these details, all these photos. Everything is important. How one piece of photograph became important, everything is important. If your client gives you, I've got, recording, some recording, 3 hours recording of phone conversations, they are keep it aside. You listen. Right? That's what you're paid for. Alright, then you need to also organize the case file, use chronologies, timelines, topics, schedules, maps, charts, so that you can have a flow chart. Put this information, and then you can use it. Identify the factual issues. Now, remember this: you will not get cases where 100% of the facts are in your favor. Very still, you may be lucky in your practice, you may get once or twice. But you are bound to get facts that are in your favor, bound to get facts that are not in your favor, and bound to get downright ugly facts. Okay? So you need to know, you need to recognize them, and you need to know how you're going to deal with them. All right, so let me move. Now, how are you going to prove? How are you going to prove your case? You are going to prove your case by the use of documents, discovery, admissions, interrogatories, oral testimony. Okay. By the way, I have that link there. You can, if you all get this link. It's a wonderful 45 minutes or 1 hour of sort of a lecture given by this chap called Irving Younger on the 10 commandments of cross-examination. Wonderful. Good use of 1 hour. And you start first of all preparing for your case by doing a case analysis. So all the material that's been given to you, you analyze. You analyze, and this is what you do. A superior case analysis assists advocates in understanding the relevant legal and factual issues involved, brings clarity and focus to the issues that the advocate wishes to emphasize, and provides a model theme for the duration of the pre-trial case of litigation with a view towards enabling a trial to decide the case in the client's favor. So, now you get a good case analysis done. Okay? The case analysis is what has been given to you by a client. You analyze the case. Like I said, the good facts, the bad facts, the ugly facts. What is it all about? What do I have? What is this? What is that? All that is done, then you have the case analysis done. And then, with the case analysis, then you can construct case theory. Now, what is the case theory? A case theory is essentially the thesis of your client's case. You know, in the short rapport snippet that we saw, right? There were 2 case theories there. Anybody can volunteer? Some of the students here. One of the case theories. What was the defense case theory? It was an accident. Right? accident that somehow or other he went and knocked, she went and knocked him over a coffee table or table or something like that, and she fell and she got hurt. That's the defense's case theory. What is the prosecution's case theory? The prosecution's theory is manslaughter. That is, this man killed her. So that is the competing case theories. So it is actually a set of conclusions or propositions explaining what had happened or might have happened. So when you go into court, either as counsel for the plaintiff or the prosecutor in a criminal case, you will have a case theory. Or as the defense counsel in a criminal case or the defendant, you will have a case theory. So essentially what you're going to do is, you're going to marshal your evidence in such a way that your case theory becomes the one that is more probable if it is civil, or your case theory creates a doubt in the mind of the trial. So therefore in a criminal charge, the case theory revolves, in a criminal trial, the case theory revolves around the charge. And in a civil trial, the case theory revolves around the pleadings. So when let's say you are for the other side, so one side has one case theory, and let's say you are now for the defendant in a criminal trial, you must have a realistic alternative theory. Realistic alternative theory, and that is sometimes termed as RAT. So it must be a reasonable alternative to the plaintiff's or the prosecution's narrative to tilt the probabilities or to create a reasonable doubt. Right now, how do you construct a case theory? Sometimes the case theory is very obvious at the outset. Your client comes to you saying, goods sold and delivered, I sold the goods to him, he has not paid me money. Right? So, where is the evidence? These are the evidence. Right? He gave me a check, the check bounced, I did supply delivery order is there, my invoice is there, and then he sent me an email saying he asked me for time to pay, and he didn't pay, and finally he gave me a check, the check bounced. So it's very obvious. The case theory is clear. But sometimes it may be necessary to revisit the case theory during your preparation and only finalize the theory after thorough analysis and consideration of topic. Mostly in complex cases. Now, of course, your case theory must be consistent with the instructions, right? You cannot go and create your own case theory, which is inconsistent with your instructions to client, because when the client is put on the stand, then the first counsel is going to ask, ini siapa aja? Oh, ini Kubam aja. Okay, so you don't want all that. That is a no-no. You cannot construct your whole theory. It's inconsistent with the instructions given. Okay. Let me just go through a bit faster because time is right. So, a good case theory must be simple, balanced by factors in the strengths and weaknesses of the case, logical, credible, and realistic. It must make sense. It must be in accord to human knowledge and experience, realistic and not fanciful. You cannot have a kind of case theory which says, the cow jump over the moon. Consistent with as much evidence as possible, and inconsistencies are explained away, and appropriate evidence content is there. Okay? And it must be directed to the desired case theory. Okay? So, we've done that. Now with that, now you have your case theory construct, you have done your pleadings, you have filed your pleadings, so your case theory is there. So you have, if you are in a civil case, you have now filed it in accordance with your case theory. So then you have the case, this is something very important, pre-trial case management. Some people take it very lightly, but very important. Why? Because case management is something now the courts use to deliver justice in a fast and yet fair manner. Okay? So case management requires the application of range of management tools by the courts in order to secure the just, most expeditious, least expensive, and proportionate determination of proceedings on its merits. Okay. This is what the philosophy of case management is all about. That is why the courts have taken over control of the way in which the cases will flow in court, and we, the judges, give a lot of emphasis to it. So when you come to court, you must know your stuff. You must be prepared. Okay, typically in a case management scenario would include directions on the preparation of trial bundles, the categorization of documents. You must know how you categorize documents, A, B, C, and what it means. The parties' respective summaries of cases, statements of agreed facts, statements of issues to be tried, list of witnesses. So the issues list is a key, and a guide to the counsel as to what evidence must be adduced subsequently, because that is what the issue is all about. Right? So be prepared. Anticipate all possible issues that the judge may address, prepare adequately, know the facts of the case. Trial dates will be fixed, so hence counsel must be able to gauge how many witnesses will be called. Very often I see this happening in my court. Counsel comes in, everything is ready for trial, and I ask, how many witnesses do you have? I want to fix trial dates. And they say, oh, 3, maybe 5. No, but then you should already know what witnesses you need, what documents you need, what facts you need to prove in order to establish a case. You cannot come at that point and say, I'm still wondering, whether I need to call 5 or 3. That shows what? That shows, to me, he is unprepared. Alright, now, after trial case management, you are now planning for the trial. When you plan for the trial, you plan in the reverse order. Here you must be asking me, what is this judge saying? Why must I prepare in reverse order? You must plan from drafting your first draft closing submission. Then you look into what your evidence in chief should be in terms of your case, and then what cross-examination you will do, and then finally your opening statement. It is not in that manner. It is not the other way. Why? Why do you prepare the closing speech first? It is similar to an architect who builds a building. Yeah? An architect draws the building plan before the construction commences. The initial closing speech is the blueprint that tells you what needs to be done in order to attain your end goal, to persuade the judge to grant relief in your favor. Arguments as to facts and law based on your case theory will give you that direction. Gives you focus as to the evidence that needs to be used in examination in chief and elicited in cross-examination to establish your case theory and to decide on the most effective opening statement. Okay, what it means is that if you have already in your mind set your closing speech that you want to make to the judge, then you need the meat for that. Right? So then you can fit in the puzzle. Right? You say, I need this, I need to prove this, I need this evidence. Where is that? Where is this? This is document 1. Where is this? I need to get this all evidence from witness number 3. Okay? So you build, and then you say, oh, I need to get this explained away for during cross-examination of that particular witness. So then you have that roadmap ready. So with that roadmap, then your destination is clear. Now, handling witnesses, that is very important. Yeah? Handling witnesses. Now, witnesses are people just like you and me. Treat them with respect. Never be harsh, always be polite. Even to the witness who may likely cause the greatest damage to your case, be polite. Judges find it appalling when advocates treat witnesses with undue harshness. Disdain makes you look arrogant and you lose respect. Anger makes you look as if you are losing the battle. You may not always get the answer that you are looking for. Put your case and move on. If they are your witness, put them at ease. Even if they are your opponent's witness, put them at ease. Why? A witness who is guarded is less likely to give you the answer that you are looking for. A witness who is at ease, and you cajole him, and you ask him the nice way, then maybe think, this counsel is so nice to me. Yeah, then he's flowing with you. Take him along. So, being nice pays off, yeah? Now, so develop a system with your witnesses, one question at a time. Please don't put complex questions to witnesses, questions. The judge also can't follow, the witness also can't follow, a lot of time is wasted. Simple questions, one at a time, and you go block by block. You build it all. So then get a rhythm going, keep to the rules of examination of witnesses, which I'll come in a short while. Get them to tell their story. Okay, examination is very important. Okay, why the law does not allow leading questions in examination in chief? Because the court is not interested in listening to what the counsel story is. The court wants to listen to what the witness's story is. So let them tell the story. Because the court wants to hear their story and not yours. So, the examination chief, what is it all about? Is the detailed story of the case. You must tell it. You must tell the story of the case to the judge. It's told by witnesses, with the help of documents, in answer to non-leading questions, based on relevant and admissible evidence, organized and controlled by the advocate, persuasively presented. Now, in order to do examination in chief effectively, you must master the evidence the witness can give, develop a structure, and prepare for performance. So always remember, do it by non-leading questions. And how do you do it? You ask questions when, where, what, why, how. These are questions, usually it's not leading questions. Now, I've often been asked this question, but these days we have witness statements. We put in witness statements for examination in chief. Why do we need to learn all this? Right? We're not going to do it. You still need to know it for two reasons. Number one, not all witnesses give witness statements. Some of them will be subpoenaed and they have to come and you have to orally examine them. And number two, more importantly, even when you give witness statements, all these rules apply. Right? If not, what happens is that when I start my case, the counsel for the other side stands up and says, my Lord, I'm objecting to their 55 questions, I'm objecting to 39 of them. Why? Because they are all leading. Then I have to go through one by one and make a ruling. Oh, this is out, oh, that is out, this is out. It's a waste of time. So the same rules apply. Right? Now, cross-examination. Okay, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of how you do cross-examination. That can take, a one-day lecture, a half-a-day lecture. There's so many techniques to it, so many ways of doing it. Right? So I showed you Ian Morning's book, Devil's Advocate. I think it's probably the largest chapter in his book is on cross-examination. And when I was starting off to practice, I bought his book. The whole book is called Art of Cross-Examination. Right? So you have all that. I told you about the 10 commandments of cross-examination by Irving Younger. You can watch it. There are also others who talk about the 9 ways to skin a cat. Now you learn this, yes, by practice, and some you can learn by watching, some you can learn techniques from books. Now remember always that when you're doing cross-examination, the rule in round and done always applies. So you have to make sure that you put across your case theory, your case, through the witnesses of the other side. Now, when it comes to examination of witnesses, you must know the provisions in Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 of the Evidence Act thoroughly. You must do it thoroughly. But because it contains all the rules of examination of witnesses, competency, how you do this, how you do it, a person is dumb, how to do it, child, how, wife and husband, how. Because all that is there. So you need to know that. And chapter 10 chapter 10, which is examination of witnesses, it talks about examination of witnesses, the chief, the cross, the lead, it's all there. So you need to know that. So when you do a cross-examination, don't be too taken in by say Rampur of the Old Bailey. That doesn't happen in the courts, in our court anyway. Don't be taken in by what you see in the TV series. Right? You see a guy being cross-examined and intense cross-examination, and suddenly he says, "Yes, I want to tell the truth." No, it doesn't happen. And that only happens in the movies. Your job is to elicit the facts that you want from him, put your case to the person, challenge the evidence, and then leave it for submission. Right? So that is not the end result that you're looking for. Okay? It will never happen. After cross-examination, it's all tied up in knots and it's coming off from court. So it doesn't happen. So you must know where you're heading, what the purpose of cross-examination is all about. So if you do that well, the judge is going to be happy, you used up the time very well, and proceedings go on well, and you have done what needed to be done, and you move on. So now I move on to the final submission. Okay. So you have done that, and then I move on to final submission. Now, organization is key. Make an assessment of what is material to the outcome. See, now, don't get mistaken. When I said you start off, when you plan your trial, you start off with the final submission in mind. That is just a draft of what you want to do. Right? So, of course, after the trial is concluded, with all the evidence in your hand, you would have to treat all that and then come with a proper final submission. So now, organization is key. Make an assessment of what is material to the outcome of the case, capture neatly and succinctly the overall point that you wish to make and why. So then start from the statement of the issues to be tried. If it's already there, you can set out the issues and then you can start. Yeah? And then keep it brief, but do not oversimplify if the issues are complex. Keep it simple. Yeah, I had once a submission that was 389 pages long. It is absolutely unnecessary. And I told the counsel, is it possible for you to give me an executive summary of this? He said, yes, I can. And he did it in 10 pages. And he did all the things inside that. So you can see, so that was absolutely unnecessary. Yeah? So go straight to the point. Your submission is not a novel. Okay? Avoid excessive cut and paste of case authority. Yeah, you don't have to put chunks and chunks of case authority here. You don't have to say section 101 of the Evidence Act, it talks about burden of proof, and the burden of proof in this case is on this fellow, and these are the cases, and you take chunks and chunks and chunks, and you don't have to say that. Okay, they just say it is tried that the burden of proof in this case is on the plaintiff. See section 101, 102 of Evidence Act. You still want to have one, you still feel that you must quote one case, that you put one case, that see also this case, but not finish. Right? You have made a point. Right? Then, no need to harp on basic points of law unless it is a point of contention. Again, don't harp on basic points of law. Make full use of the opportunity to present oral arguments, summarize and highlight. If you feel that you have done a written submission, you put it in, and you feel that you want to highlight and present it to court, tell the judge, I would like to, do a short oral summary of my arguments. Please give me 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'll do it. So when you say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, keep it to 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Don't make it lawyers 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So show up the inconsistencies of the opponent's witnesses, preferably against contradictory documents, evidence, inconsistencies. And just like the 4 C's, in a diamond, you must have clarity, color, and character in your submission. Okay? Then it will sparkle. Yes, still not subject of final submission. Contrary to some silly rumors, judges are usually learned in law. They usually come from a background of being excellent lawyers. I wouldn't say I am one of them, but most are very experienced trial advocates and are fair in their dealings. Assume this to be the case. Nevertheless, take the judge through the facts and applicable law. Judging is a difficult task. A good advocate would make that task a little less difficult. So take him through it. But if the judge says, yeah, okay, counsel, you can move on from that. So we see, sorry, I understood that point. You don't have to belabor that point. So you move on. Provide the judge with the structure for the detail of the submission, list the areas that you will cover. If you have signposts, little subheadings and whatnot, that will help. And remember, if the judge can follow your arguments easily, you are more likely to persuade him, and your likelihood of success is that much higher. Okay. So remember always this: judges love advocates who make their lives easier. So this is what your final task will be. Okay? I started with 3 and 4, so I'm going to possibly end it with 6 or 9. Okay? So it is now your task to convince the judge. Is it a 6 or a 9? So in your final submissions, know your pleaded relief. Ask yourself what you need to do for the judge to give it to you. The judge will inevitably look at the prayers for relief, so be prepared to answer questions from the judge, such as if he asks you, can I grant this relief sought? Do I have the jurisdiction? Do I have the power? This is why you must go prepared with the statutes, rules. Now, this is a very important part of trial advocacy, courtesy and decorum. Right? Be courteous and respectful to all present, not just to the judge. Be mindful of unintended discourtesies. For example, a judge is paid to listen rather than to speak. But if he or she speaks, try not to interrupt. Pay attention to the proper mode of address. How you address the judge. With the magistrate, how you address. With the second judge, how you address. With the High Court judge, how you address. With the Court of Appeal judge, how you address. All this is very important. You can disagree, but always with deference. You can agree, but not casually, instead always with politeness. Right? A judge may be protective of certain witnesses. Example, when a party seeks to shift blame to a witness, but that line of questioning is not part of the pleaded case, or in the case of expert witnesses, or child or vulnerable witnesses. By all means, confront a witness if he is being untruthful, but do it with polish and restraint. Okay? Never badger the witness. And there are also chapters on how you conduct yourself at trial in a court. When you rise, the other person sits down. You don't want to see 2 counsel standing up. How you go there and make the introductions to the judge, to the appearing. How you introduce your learned opponent. Now you shouldn't be a case where 2 parties come, 2 lawyers come, and the lawyer for the plaintiff says, I am John Thomas for the plaintiff, and my learned friend. So that's not the case. Before you come in, you are going to make the introductions. You take down the name of your learned opponent, and you introduce him. Okay? So these are important things. When you stand up to object, you do it with you. Have eye contact with the judge. Don't stand up and start shouting. Don't stand up and start screaming, I object, all that, no. Do it nicely, okay? Right now, this is a nice little cartoon. We talk about preparation. Yeah, preparation is key to everything in this whole thing. So this is a nice little cartoon I got some time ago. This is about a junior who has joined this firm. and his name is Crawley. So it says, the senior says to him, Crawley, the 3 rules of advocacy are very simple. 1, preparation. 2, preparation. And 3, preparation. Prepare every case as if it's your last. Then he tells him, here's your first brief, Mr. Crawley. It's in Reading in 45 minutes. If you run, you will just make it in time to get cash ticket. That's how it was in my days of practice. We used to get briefs at the last minute. The senior will give it to you and say, this case is in Rajam, go and get this done. Or the day before you get. So yes, preparation is difficult. Sometimes also because the timelines that the court set during this case management, timelines are short, but you have to plot during these little short timelines. And this is another quote that I always liked. This is from the British Army's 7 keys. Proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance. Okay. So again, practice makes perfect. Learn new skills, create new skills, improve existing skills, discard bad habits. As with developing any skill, practice is necessary and practice more. When I was starting off, I used to actually, a little thing I want to share with you. I would stand in front of the mirror and practice my final submission. And I used to then notice my little, that I would feature here and feature there and all that. So with that, you can know, some of these habits that you just need to discuss. How you have eye contact, how you do all that, how you do the pace, see whether the judge is following you. So all this you need to develop and learn. If you're a fast speaker, some people naturally are fast speakers. So you need to tone down your pace of speaking. You need to tone down. Some people have very soft voice, but you need to learn how to throw your voice. So, and if you are very loud, how you need to bring down your volume. So these are all important. Okay? This is why I say body language is important, how you present yourself is important. It's not just the language, it encompasses all that. So advocacy is a whole package. Okay? So with that I come to the end and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Justice Wazir, for a very colorful and insightful lecture on the advocacy skills for criminal and civil trial. If I may just summarize some of the main points that you made, that in order to be a good advocate, you need to be a skillful person, you need to be persuasive, you need to be an effective communicator. Advocacy, we are not born as good advocates. We can become good advocates by being taught advocacy. And there are many methods of being taught. There are many avenues, including the Bar Council's advocacy training course, ATC, which is run, I think, about half a dozen times a year. They have 3 levels of advocacy courses: basic advocacy, appellate advocacy, and cross-examination of financial experts. So depending on your level of experience at the bar, you may fit into any one of these 3 advocacy courses. And as Justice Wazir mentioned, senior lawyers and some of the current judges, serving judges and retired judges are advocacy trainers, and both of us are actually advocacy trainers as well. It is important for you as a trial advocate to strategize for your victory, analyze the strength and weakness of your case, marshal your evidence to show your case theory, that your case theory is the more probable one. Now, cross-examination doesn't mean that you cross-examine harshly or crossly. That's not cross-examination. Cross-examination is something else. By cross-examination, you should seek to try and disarm the witness. And how you do that is up to your skill. What's a leading question? We've heard a lot about leading questions. If you look at the Evidence Act, there is a definition of what is a leading question. It is a question that suggests the answer. So an argument took place in the Court of Appeal sometime last year. The lawyers were having a big argument before the bench. So the appellant's counsel told the bench of 3 lawyer judges, don't pay any weight to the evidence of the witness during re-examination, because counsel was actually leading the witness during re-examination. You're not supposed to lead in re-examination. So the chairperson of the bench asked the other side lawyer, is it true that you were leading in re-examination? He said, no, I was not leading. So the judge asked him, do you know what is a leading question? So he explained, a leading question is a question which leads to another question. One question leading to another question, that's a leading question according to that lawyer. And I think the judges wanted to come down and choke the lawyer because he didn't know what a leading question was. So there you are. Lord Russell of Kilowan was asked, what is the definition of a good lawyer? He said, a good lawyer is one who exhibits in everything that he does. He must exhibit, number 1, accuracy. Accuracy means no bluffing around. Brevity, keep it short. Lucidity, keep it clear, keep it simple. And lastly, keeping to the point, meaning stay relevant. And that is the mantra that each one of you must strive to achieve in everything that you do as a law student, as a lawyer, and we also as judges, we try to keep those points in mind when we write our judgments. That is, be accurate, be brief, be lucid, and keep to the point. And always please bear in mind that advocacy, the bedrock of advocacy is persuasiveness or persuasion. And judges are always inclined to take the path of least resistance. So if there is a difficult path and an easy path, it is up to your ingenuity and brilliance to find the easiest path to take the judge for a walk into that garden path and take him where you want him to go. So with that, we thank Justice Wazir, and now we come to another interesting part of our, has the aircon been switched off? This is part of the technique of cross-examination. So anyway, now we come to the question and answer part, which is where we open the floor to all of you. And we have passed some question slips around because some of you are quite shy to stand up and ask questions. We found that out from the first lecture series. And so we have sent this written question around, question sheet around. So far I've received 2. The first question is, as a judge, this question is by Joanne Marsh-Redzi. As a judge, have you ever had to decide between justice and legality, especially in reference to euthanasia cases? Euthanasia is not legal in Malaysia. I have not come across any euthanasia cases. But back to the question of having to decide between justice and legality.
Well, if you ask me, I would say that
I would say that what we as judges seek to do is we seek to do justice in accordance to law. So we are guided by the law, laws of evidence, the law of substantive law. So we have to do justice in accordance to that. So that is why it is a court of law. So we are guided by the law. We seek to do justice. We cannot choose one over the other. You know, it is that our roadmap is to attain justice in accordance to law. So at the end of the day, it is justice according to law. Not necessarily justice according to what you might think is fair or not fair. So sometimes the outcome may well be unfair, because that is the end product after we apply the law.
Yeah. See, just like to give an example, if